Right. Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 190. This is discussing the last 6 episodes of Go-onger, episodes 45 to 50. 45 is mostly a New Year's Day episode that also is their clip show. Yep. Where it has the Go-ongers going to a hot spring paid for by the Go-on Wings. Yep. And of course, you might be curious though, going to a hot spring, is there a scene where you have one of the guys peep on the two girls? Nope. Does not happen here at all. Do not know the reason for it, it's just that it's not there. But the interesting about this episode, we see teasing of that trash can that was found after the cleaning minister was destroyed in the previous episode. But the very next episode, we finally see what was inside that trash can. What was making all that noise? It was the crime minister. Yes. We see his debut at the end of the episode. Yeah, so the main plot of the one is basically Bumpa running away, and everything the Bumpa's junk, but turns out nope, it was actually their main vehicle because they're trying to fix the damn thing. Yeah, but that just basically just a filler. That I feel like basically watching 45, most of it was a filler, but the most interesting about it is that we see the debut of the crime minister, and we see him fully in the next episode. It is pointed out by the water pollution minister that he looks like Yasek, the earth pollution minister. And according to the other guy who pops up, by the way, this character's one and only appearance in this whole entire franchise. The mischief cabinet minister. Yes, seriously. He is the right-hand man of the crime minister, though the subversion was the grime minister. Yeah, I'm not really sure why, but that's what I call him. His whole thing is like taking attack, absorbing them, basically, and redirecting right back at him. And the whole episode, they had to basically battle him until he's finally defeated. And it's weird, though. They introduced this guy in the very same episode. We see the first full appearance of the crime minister. And, oh, by the way, the Go-ongers do know that he's basically... By the way, the crime minister, he does know that the Go-onger is responsible for his son's death. But he does not know that the one who finished him off was Go-on Red. He never finds that out in his 5 appearances. Yes, seriously. So after, of course, this guy is defeated, then eventually they unleash one more monster into the creature, which is simply put an anagram like all the monsters face up at this point. Eventually he's destroyed, and then the next episode, they have this thing where they have the main robots, their fire force, attack relentlessly. Also, 48, we see something completely unexpected. Actually, it was in 46, where we see the Hunt and Gempa, along with their 3 Zords, disappear. Yeah, they get erased. Though it's revealed by Carringer that this guy, the crime minister, is responsible for destroying most of the race of the Gaion engines. Yeah, he's one responsible for doing that. Why is so few of them left? And of course, those 3 are gone by the end of the episode. 48, we see the prehistoric Zords get erased, along with the twins and their 3 respective Zords. That's down to 3, and it's pretty much down to 3 that we started the series off with. Sosuke, Ren, and Saki with their 3 Zords. So, as they get exhausted, eventually they decided to do an interesting idea using the guard and tank system to basically max the area to find out where the base is. And they find it. They actually go in the penultimate episode, which is something. Yeah, they go in there, and of course, then we see in the episode, we see the deaths of the air and water pollution ministers when they're killed by the crime minister. And of course, they have their final thoughts. Like, they basically tell them how to stop this thing by going to a strategy room. And I'm like, oh yeah. Reminds me of the show era stuff with this. By actually having the 3 main rangers go into the room where the pollution ministers made every single plan. And we also see here going on, we see that the device that basically gives them their drug, that's destroyed in this episode, destroyed by the crime minister. The device used to create the actual creatures, that's destroyed too. Thus seeing the return of the four rangers who had to disappear. Yep, the four. And of course they battle him both when they avoid the G12 before they eventually finally defeat him. And after defeated, the engines go back home. And of course, they go separate ways. What happens to these people? And of course, you have a several time skip. Gunpei has become a detective. And what about Hunt? He basically went back to be a police. He went back to Lemon Pizza. Saki was an attempt to open up her, get this, her cake shop. And we see a brief appearance of her evil sister. I thought she'd only be one appearance here. She appears in this last episode for no reason. Yep, and what about the twins? Well, they kind of become alone. They have a party. Of course, they pull away because of apparently Sosuke's re-debut of the racing track, and he's basically like a race car driver. As in the case of Ren, he does not go back to be a bus driver. No, he doesn't. He is pretty much part of Sosuke's pit crew. And to prepare for his debut, he apparently decided to test out a golf cart. Like a go-kart. Yes, seriously. A go-kart. And eventually the episode ends with Speeder showing up, telling them that a missing executive, is about to attack them. And of course, everyone comes along. Sure. And then that leads into, get this. This leads into the team-up episode, Shuriken versus Go-onger. That's what this leads to. And you're thinking, really? Yes, that's where the scene continues in that team movie that was released a year later. I am not kidding. And then we see, like, right after the credits, we do see the Pass the Torch thing where we actually have Sosuke and Shuriken Red exchanging swords, and they hold it, and of course the friend class and pass on, like, oh, it's not your show now. Yeah, this is something apparently that I've seen once or twice before. Mostly put, the whole point of this being here is to basically show off, like, who's coming next. Yeah, and since I've already technically reviewed the next 3 Sentai, yeah, I've already reviewed them already. And with this, I have pretty much reviewed the entirety of Go-onger. There is still one thing left I'm going to do as a bonus before I head to my next thing I'm working on, which is going to be Kamen Rider Skyrider. You might be curious though, what Sentai am I doing next? It is going to be, because I'm at this point, is Changeman. Yes, Changeman is my next Sentai I'm going to do. Why Changeman, I ask? Well, for a couple reasons. One is the final series to review under the Showa era, and 2, why not? And plus, I'm a little more interested in watching this one than I did with Dynaman. That one, I felt as though I had to do that one because I kept skipping it. I had to do that one. But in the case of this one, I actually wanted to do this. I actually wanted to do Changeman. Yep. But that's finished with Kamen Rider Skyrider. I will review at the end of it what Kamen Rider is next when it comes to that one. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Sick of you. Next up is a Comic Corner. I'm taking a little break. And then I'll be back for Bleach. Okay, next video. Bye.